Britain's airstrikes on Iraq and Syria are both part of Operation Shader, but this report paints very different pictures of what's happening in each country. In Iraq, it says 2 years of action has delivered substantial progress in eliminating IS, Daesh. But the situation in Syria it calls far more complex, and it questions why only 1 in every 9 British strikes since December has been in Syria.
Now, at the time when we were deciding and debating whether to go into Syria, we were told there were tens of thousands of forces fighting on the ground, moderate forces, that we could use these airstrikes in support. Well, I think we've got the data there. Where are these forces? And if they're there, how come we haven't been mounting more airstrikes in their support?
This military action, the committee says, is necessary but not sufficient. It's not more force they're calling for, but a grand strategy. Once again, the government is accused of not properly planning for what happens after any military victory. And the MPs say the UK needs to look beyond IS and beyond Iraq and Syria.
That we mustn't get too obsessed with individual groups in individual countries, because otherwise then you're always being reactive. And it may well be the case that ISIL, Daesh, having been unusual in seizing and holding identifiable territory, may be removed from that territory in both Syria and in Iraq. However, that doesn't mean to say that it won't pop up in other territories, as it already has shown in Libya, but it also means that we have to remember that there were other Islamist groups before this one came along, that they pose a continuing threat. They are spreading an ideology on an international scale, and we need a strategy that will enable us to respond on an international scale too.
The government says as well as being at the forefront of efforts to defeat Daesh, Britain is working with the United Nations and international partners for a political solution in Syria. In Iraq, it is working with the government to deliver stabilisation and reconciliation, and it's also working to train Iraq's own forces. Ministers have long been clear that both countries require a political solution. But while the UK says in Syria that solution would have to involve the departure of President Assad, the MPs once again say a difficult choice between him and IS may have to be made. James Hurst, Forces News, Westminster.